Say it with me: higher education, higher education, higher education. Can we talk about higher education? But before we get started, I just want to say happy Labor Day as we celebrate Labor Day in our country. We just want to acknowledge those persons who we are celebrating um, Labor Day in the country. So I just want to acknowledge that and acknowledge those persons. So, welcome. And if you're just joining me, my name is Dr. Deidre Moss. I am an educator, a motivator, and a talk connoisseur. Today, we'll be talking about a topic that has sparked some conversations recently, that being the value of higher education. Before we begin, if you're tuning in from our social media page and you just join us, like and share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links on our page. If there's something that you think we should be talking about, feel free to let us know. We want to hear from you. Let us know if you would like to advertise on our platform or sponsor our program. And with that said, let's get into the topic. So we will be talking about a conversation that has been ongoing and will continue to evolve. This is a topic that is often hotly debated, and I believe that people will continue to discuss the value of education. That said, if you are informed or well versed about this topic, I invite you to join me and as I seek to dissect this topic. And before I dive a little bit deeper into this discussion, I think it's important to get an understanding of the topic at hand, that being the value of higher education, and more specifically, the value of a college or university degree. It is sometimes said that pursuing a college degree is not necessarily needed today because there are many examples of successful people who have never went to college, people with wealth, people of influence, and people who are the picture of success. So they ask, if people can become successful without a degree, why should people pursue a college or university education? And as an educator, I'm often presented with this question from my students, and this is the answer that I give them. First, there are so many layers to this question, and there are so many moving parts involved. And unfortunately, there's no really yes or no, there's not a simple yes or no answer to this question. The fact is that everyone's path to what they define as success will not look the same. While one individual may find success without having to pursue higher education, that might not be the case for another. And with that said, some career fields require a degree, and we value education when we go to the doctor, and we know that our doctors underwent years of instruction before they could operate in the medical field. After all, intricate surgeries such as operating on the brain and heart require that our doctors are well educated and know exactly what they're doing. We also value higher education when when we think about we think about needing a lawyer, and we understand that our lawyer went years of law school before they could practice law. We want someone who to represent us, who is well educated and understands policies and legislation, which sometimes requires years of study. So while we know that everyone will not become a doctor or a lawyer, we see that there will always be a need for a degree, and higher education and instruction will always be valuable, especially in certain fields. So I just want to pause. I just want to pause for a minute and invite anyone who's joining us or who's watching from our social media pages to add your comments. You can like this video, and if you have any insight or any commentary you would want to add, feel free to comment under this video. So now we know that everyone does not have the same level of access to money or social networks inside, and other factors that contribute to building or launching a successful career without a college or university degree. But some people are building their lives and careers from the ground up. And higher education might be the only key for some individuals to open the pathway to their version of success. Additionally, some people say that a degree is just a piece of paper because they do not fully understand the various components that are a part of the college and university experience. Some people only see the degree for its monetary or financial value, that is, its earning potential, but a degree has more valuable aspects to it, exclusive of the monetary value or the financial gain that someone can potentially obtain as a result of obtaining a degree. There are communities and organizations that people become a part of when they pursue a degree. And some of the communities that they become a part of can last over a lifetime. There is also the social networks, the mental and emotional development involved, and other factors that are a part of the college journey that are not financial in nature, but they do contribute to the overall growth and development of the individual. So, to the credit of those persons who believe that a degree is just a piece of paper, or in our time, in the time that we're living now, is not needed, we will have to agree to disagree. But it's very difficult for anyone who has not gone through the process, the arduous process of obtaining a degree, to understand the processes involved in obtaining it. And the people who obtain it, it is more than, and to the people who obtain it, it is more than just a piece of paper. For me, obtaining my degree has contributed to my life in positive ways, and I see the value and will continue to see the value in higher education. So, for any student who is pondering about the value of higher education, look at your situation, have a conversation with someone who is knowledgeable on the topic, someone who you believe will help you to make an informed decision to determine the best way forward. Lastly, I believe that this discussion has also raised some things to consider. That being, one, if you have questions or doubts about the value of higher education, do your own research. Don't just rely on what someone else is saying or their experience, but go on your own discovery to determine what the value of education is for you. Um, Listen to both sides of the argument. If you heard the perspective of the individual who has not gone to college, or the individual who does not believe that a degree has that value in today's society, listen to the other side. You should also take an opportunity to listen to the individual who has experienced the college university life journey and hear both arguments. Also, take advantage of all the resources that are available to you before you make a decision about whether or not to pursue a higher education, to pursue a college university degree. If you're in high school, speak to a guidance counselor or a career counselor if they are available, if you have those resources at your school, and let them provide you with insight regarding your decision. Also, if you're in high school and you have an opportunity to attend the college fairs that they have, if your school participates in them, ask the hard questions, ask those questions that will help you to determine the best option for you. Do what's best for you. And when you make a decision, do not allow others to discourage you from making a decision that will ultimately affect your life. And when you make that decision, do it from an informed space. Um, so I want to take a moment to break to move to our next segment, but then I also want to take a break to again invite those persons who are joining us. You can add your comments, like our video, share. We want to hear from you. So I want to bring us to a segment that speaks to what's going on in the news. So this segment is more tied to conversations. Okay, the conversations that has been had as it relates to monetization for Bahamian content creators, and this is something that I've seen floating around, and so the conversation is built upon a assertion as it relates to there being a move or push for Bahamian content creators or Bahamian content to be monetized. And the question is, can Bahamians expect to have their content monetized on social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube? And whatever platforms allow for monetization. And this discussion again recently surfaced among Bahamian content creators when they claimed that Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, allegedly mentioned that this was a goal for his administration. So, where we're at now is currently monetization for content creators is not available in the Bahamas. It's not available on major social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and whatever social media platforms allow for monetization for Bahamian content creators. However, there are always exceptions to the rule. You do have those persons, you do have Bahamian persons who say that they meet the criteria for whatever reasons to have their content monetized. However, for many other Bahamians, this is still a goal, as content creators from other countries earn major dollars on social media platforms. So now that this question or this move or this push has surfaced, there's questions to consider. Will Bahamians have the opportunity to have their content monetized? Have these discussions began? And what is the timeline to accomplish this goal? Okay. And so that brings us to the end of this segment, and I want to jump into our motivational minute. So at this moment, we want to focus on our motivational minute, which is when you're good at something and you make it look effortless, you will often be imitated. But even if imitators copy the ingredients, they can never replicate the sauce. The imitation is just a watered down version of the original. So people often say that imitation is the highest form of flattery. But is it? Is it flattering to have someone imitate what you do and never give you credit for it? Is it flattering for someone else to take your ideas and pass them off as their own? Well, I'd answer that question for myself and say no. It's never flattering to know that someone else has stolen your idea and not acknowledge you. But what I do acknowledge is that someone saw my idea, my thoughts, or my work as something worth taking. After all, thieves don't target empty homes. And this happens so many times. You'll be amazed at how many people you inspire, but they refuse to give you credit. But what these people fail to realize is when you take another person's original idea or work and attempt to pass it off as their own, they miss a few critical details. They miss the personal touch, your unique blueprint, because the idea was never theirs to begin with. Their stolen product is never as good as the original. It's simply a watered down version of the original work. So when someone imitates your product, work, or idea, focus on the fact that you have the ability to inspire, shape, and move people to action, even if they choose not to acknowledge you. So that brings us to the end of our motivational minute. And that brings us to the end of our session. Thank you for tuning in and joining us today. We want to remind you, if you want to advertise with us, let us know. You can also reach out to us through our page. Our contacts are there. We want to grow, so grow with us. To those watching via social media, thank you for listening in. Like our page for future notifications of upcoming talks. Comment under our videos, let us know your thoughts, and let us know what you want us to talk about. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Can We Talk with Dr. Deidre Moss. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter using the addresses provided on our page. And remember, let's think, talk, do. Thank you.